Let's talk about assignment 4.8. In this assignment, we're going to be finalizing some audio, and we have to do a few things to make it work. First of all, if you scan through in the edit window, you're going to see that there's a handful of tracks here, and there's a lot that we can kind of like go in and preview. And if you want to just take a few, listens to, you can check that out. But the first thing we're going to need is we need to go to our mix window. And we need to establish in step 1 a master fader. So to create a master fader, we have to hit Command-Shift-N and then go to Stereo Master Fader and hit Create. From here, what we really need to do is go in and set all levels to negative infinity, which means off. So we're going to set all the levels to negative infinity. We can just pull them all down. But in the next step, we're going to make sure the master is set to 0. We have to be mindful of the master meter to make sure we don't clip it at all as we bring these in. Then we're going to go to the edit window and highlight the range of songs. One of the things you can do is if you go to the magnifying glass and just triple click, go 1, 2, 3, it will bump it out so that the only thing that you see is just the range of tracks that exist. So again, 1, 2, 3, and then that way it gets you in that area. And then you can highlight them using the selector tool, go to options, and make sure you are in loop playback. And then you'll just push play and start to listen and slowly bring in faders. Now, one view that's going to help you do this to kind of be able to see what's going on screen plus faders, if you're not using a dual screen, is you can go to Arrange and either tile vertically so that you're seeing what's happening over here and the entire mix strip in the mix window, or you can go to Arrange and tile horizontally. And you just kind of have to shuffle this down and make these all, if you use all and click at the ruler and hit micro, you just want to, and you can disengage all. You want to make them all small so you can see them, then that also works too. So let's take a listen, and we're going to set up some of these levels real quick. Once we're all set with that, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set the panning. And you're going to use your best judgment for this, but we're going to adjust some panning anywhere that we can. Now the panners are nice and just right here up above in the mix window. And just as a bit of a pointer to how to do the panning, panning works best when we have something to complement each side. And so you can notice some of these have 2 panners on their channels. That means they're in stereo, and others are in mono. So first off, that drum set, I'm going to go ahead and pan somewhat left, somewhat right, like mid-left and mid-right, because I want the width. But as the claps begin to come in, if I solo those, I'm going to go ahead and position those throughout. And we can kind of position them however we want, as long as we do it in a way that the left is somewhat even with the right. So let's take a look at it. So notice I use my solo button a lot in order to make that possible, to kind of go back and forth between them. Just also pay attention to the fact that when you start panning out to the left and to the right, the volume appears to change, so it seems to be louder. And it's important to make sure that you counteract that by turning it down if that's not what you want. If you want it in that position, but you don't want it to be so loud. Preview your mix a few times. As long as you're happy with it, you're going to highlight the track clips in the edit window, making sure to highlight the range from the very beginning, plus a little bit of space at the end. So the easy way to do that is come down to the end, click anywhere in here, slide it all the way to the front. Make sure that none of this is muted, that it's all on, and that the master was not clipping. You shouldn't see any red in there. At that point in time, you're ready to go to File, Bounce Mix, and you're going to call this assignment 4.8 your name, and then hit bounce. You'll retrieve it out of the bounce folder and load it to the MLP.